Well, thank you everybody for coming today. We've got kind of a small crowd, and that's good because I had to replace Liz. So I'm Ron Fuller, the president of the Garland County Historical Society, and I probably won't do as good a job as Liz, but I will try. Before I start today, I want to say something about all the volunteers, and I hope everybody is in here. We're just so blessed and so fortunate to have all the volunteers that help us down at the society. If it wasn't for them, the doors wouldn't be open. So I'd ask those of you that are sitting to stand, that are our volunteers that are here today. Thank you so much. And at this time, I'd like to ask Julie Nix to say our Pledge of Allegiance, please. You'll join us.
Left-hand corner. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I think you probably were given when you came in the minutes of our March 18th meeting. If anybody had a chance to look over these, if you have any questions, probably just see some of us after the meeting if you have any questions about this. Also, I hope each of you picked up when you came in. Liz left me 2 pages of things I was supposed to announce. So I am actually paring these down, and when you came in, there is an upcoming events page that was on the table out there. I'll just go over a couple of these very briefly. Wednesday the 23rd, noon at the library. Kane West will be talking about hot springs and the national park idea. On Saturday, the 26th of April, we're going to take part in the Arts in the Parks, meeting local authors, which should really be interesting because we've got a lot of great local authors here in Hot Springs. Sunday, the 27th, star true crime author, our own Betty Martin, will be at the event at 2:30 to 3:50. And if you've read any of Betty's books, you know what I'm talking about. Thursday, May 1st, as part of the Arts in the Parks Festival, there will be a cocktail hour at the Arlington. And I won't read all the details, but it looks like a fun event. And then the May program will be on May 20th, the 3rd Tuesday. Stephen Cook will tell us about his new book. So if you want to attend any of those, we'd certainly be honored to have you. We talked about the minutes. Okay. With that said, we have a special guest here this morning who I just met. I think I gave, Betty, I think I accidentally gave my comments regarding this young lady to you. But what I'd like to do is I'll have her come up, tell you a little bit about herself and her history and some of the wonderful things that she has done. So if you'll come up, please.
Thank you so much.
And I'll get that off your laptop.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Hi, thank you everyone for coming. My name is Cassidy Kendall. I will also not be speaking as eloquently as Liz Robbins does, but will bear with me. This is my second book I've done on hot springs. The first one was 100 Things to Do in Hot Springs Before You Die. And this one is Secret Hot Springs. It's 83 secrets of things in hot springs. What is a secret? It can mean a lot of different things. Anything like historical tidbits, hidden stories, people who have helped build certain things in the town. This book was a ton of fun, and those volunteers he mentioned with the Historical Society is the only reason why it's here. If it wasn't for the volunteers keeping the archives that they've kept, this book would not be half the book it was today. I spent so many hours in the Historical Society while I wrote this book, just learning of new stories, hearing of different things. The thing I really, really appreciate about the Garland County Historical Society as a journalist is it is straight factual. You can't really argue with the facts, and they really work very, very hard to preserve that for Hot Springs. And in a place like Hot Springs with the history that it has, I think that is extremely important. So I was going to do a presentation, just kind of, boring and talking about the book, but I thought maybe a more interactive thing would be fun since this is the Historical Society. This is where I got a lot of my information from. And so I guess put y'all to the test. If everyone's okay with it, I would like to do like a little raffle system. So I can ask questions, and then if you want to answer it, you can hold up either 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you get it right, I'll give you a raffle ticket at the end. We'll do a giveaway, and you will get, I don't think I need to stand in front of the mic the whole time. You will get a free book and one of my pre-order packets, which is just a bunch of like historical artifacts from the Garland County Historical Society. The book is also donated to the society, or dedicated to the society, and Liz Robbins specifically, which is who fact-checked this book at her very own leisure. Nobody asked her to. I begged her to maybe, but Liz made sure this book was amazing. Cannot express enough gratitude for the Historical Society and Liz. All right, so y'all know the city better than anyone, so I thought it would be fun to test our knowledge together. The rules are: answer the question by putting 1, 2, 3, or 4 up. Collect a raffle ticket if you're right. Don't cheat. All right, and I did make some of these a little difficult since this is the Historical Society and y'all are the experts. But the first Arlington was built in 1872. What was its original name? So we have 1, Spring House, 2, Rector House, 3, the Majestic, 4, the Arlington. And the correct answer is, I'm memorizing these numbers, 2. It is the Rector House. So the Arlington was actually built by Governor Henry Rector. Do you like the honesty? I like the honesty.
No, I thought it was 3.
You did?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't like the honesty. Are there any other 2? There you go. Did anyone get it over here? Okay. All right. Yeah, and I'll just do like some little reading excerpts from the book as I do it. So on the Arlington, did anyone know that there were 3 Arlingtons built? Mm-hmm. So let's see here. The first Arlington started out as a large hotel on Bathhouse Row in 1872, built by former Governor Henry Rector and called Rector House. It was remodeled and enlarged in 1874, reopening as the Arlington on April 15th, 1875. So today is technically the Arlington's birthday, which is super cool. All right, Hot Springs National Park was originally designated a federal reservation in 1832. In what year would it officially become a national park? 1, 1832, 2, 1872, 3, 1920, 4, 1921. The correct answer is 4, 1921. Do y'all have just, yeah. Are y'all sure? Any other boards? Oh. Any others? Oh,
I'm a transplant, but I've been worrying.
been
about
studying
this.
up.
Yeah.
If you would.
Reading.
Thank you so much. So there actually is a bonus question on this one as well. What number national park was Hot Springs in the registered national park system? The first one, number 1, first, 2, 6, 3, 12, or 4, 16? The correct answer is 3, 12. And Paul is going to hand those out for me. So if y'all get the right answer, just leave your hand raised real high for him, and he'll get you the raffle tickets. So the title of this in the book of this section about the park being designated or set aside and then designated. I called it Yellowstone Who because Yellowstone is technically the first national park ever. If national parks would have been a thing back whenever it was set aside, we would have been first. So in my book, if anyone knows Ashley Weymouth, she doesn't work for the park anymore. She used to work for the park, amazing gal. I used to work for the Sentinel Record and got to interview her back at the park centennial, way back whenever that was. And she gave me just an awesome interview. I loved her quote. So in the book, I wrote, so does it matter that Yellowstone was first and Hot Springs came in 12th? Maybe not. But in a playful, na-na-na-boo-boo way, we like to point out that Hot Springs could have claimed that first title. All right, Orville Albritton. In Orville Albritton's book, Leo and Vern, who does he describe as an imposing 6-foot Amazon, was probably the all-time champion brawler, and was dubbed the Blonde Bomber? 1, Maxine Temple Jones. 2, Grace Goldstein. 3, Agnes Demby. 4, Liz Robbins. This was Liz Robbins approved, by the way. The correct answer is 1, Maxine Temple Jones.
I don't know what your system is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, these are all in the bowl, so all those can be torn off. Thank you. So is anyone familiar with Orville Albritton? Anyone know Orville? Yeah, Orville was an amazing historian. I unfortunately never got to meet him. A lot of his work is cited in this book from the historical research that he did on his own. And in the intro, I did give a good shout out to Orville, because if it wasn't for historians like him, like I said, this book wouldn't be around. The Garland County Historical Society wouldn't be what it is today, I would say. Let me see if I can find. And this was crazy, honestly. A lot of people know about Maxine's from the bar it is now, or if they've read the book, which I hear is a little over embellished. But let's see here. Dora Maxine Temple was born in 1917 near Warren, Arkansas, but many just know her as Madame Maxine. There are outrageous stories of this tall, booming woman who dominated the town's prostitution business, and a lot of those stories are told in her book, Call Me Madam. The stories are fun, and the bar at the corner of Central and Prospect Avenues downtown is also fun. But here's what we know about the woman who was Madam Maxine. Maxine Jones, an imposing 6-foot Amazon, was probably the all-time champion brawler and was dubbed the Blonde Bomber. Orville Albritton writes in his book, Leo and Vern, This Fall's Heyday. The essence of her character is best captured in the story of a night when a male client began complaining and berating one of Maxine's girls. When the man became threatening, Maxine knocked through the door and down some steps. Knocked him through the door and down some steps, Albritton writes. But he wasn't to escape so easily. She followed the man into the yard and, picking up a 2x4 piece of lumber, began to beat the man who tried to get away by crawling under a porch and screaming at the top of his voice, "Someone please call the police." Only the intervention of police officers prevented serious injuries from occurring to the John. So Maxine Temple Jones was a very interesting woman, for better or worse. And then it does go on to, I didn't know this, but she actually did, she got arrested. See here. Here we go. One night at the gate of her ranch, she stopped the Garland County Sheriff from entering her premises with a shotgun. She was already in trouble with law enforcement authorities. This did nothing to change their opinion of Maxine. She had lost any support she ever had, and her time in Hot Springs had run out. She was sentenced to the state penitentiary on a drug charge, which she claimed was a frame. And that was one thing I never knew about Maxine. That was new to me. Did anyone know that she was sent to the state penitentiary? All righty. Opened March 3rd, 19... Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. During the week of November 19th, 2018, famed actors Vince Vaughn, Liam Hemsworth, and Clark Duke came to Hot Springs to shoot their scenes for the movie Arkansas. Which of the following businesses were shown in the movie? 1, DeLuca's, 2, Maxine's, 3, Centerfold, 4, the Garland County Library. All righty. So this is actually a bit of a trick question. It's both Maxine's and Centerfold. So if you got 2 or 3, both of those are right. One thing I really loved about, I watched that movie for this book. I'd never seen it before writing this book, but I knew about the movie. I knew I wanted to include it in the book. It was too cool not to. So I watched the book, and one of the coolest things, I think it was filmed in like 2018, is that you can see a Tom Daniel chili cook-off banner downtown Hot Springs in the movie. And I was like, that's really super cool. So Arkansas, where can you see Hot Springs on the big screen? Anyone here a fan of SpongeBob SquarePants? Got one? Just one? Okay. Well, we'll see how this goes. There's an episode of the Nickelodeon cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants in which his employer, the Krusty Krab, makes a commercial. When the commercial airs, SpongeBob is shown almost completely cut out of 2 frames he was in. That was the best 60 seconds of my life, SquarePants says after the commercial concludes. This was Hot Springs when it had its 5 minutes of fame, or 5 minutes of screen time in the movie Arkansas, featuring Liam Hemsworth, Vince Vaughn, and Arkansas native Clark Duke. Although a lot of the movie not a lot, but a portion of the movie was based in Hot Springs, the only part that was actually filmed was in the bathhouse and a few like in Maxine's. Most of it was actually filmed in Tennessee or North Carolina or some off shot like that looks like Arkansas, I guess. But that was really fun. And then in the book, I got to include all the pictures of like the actors taking photos with locals, and I just thought that was so fun. Too fun not to include. All right. Opened March 3rd, 1982 by Arenal Realty Company, the Hot Springs Mall was anchored by 3 major department stores. Which of the following were not one of those stores? 1, Dillard's. 2, JCPenney's. 3, Sears. 4, Macy's. Good for y'all. Yeah, Macy's. Definitely Macy's. I did not know. I grew up in southern Arkansas, and I grew up coming to Hot Springs to vacation. Every summer, my grandma would take us to the mall. Absolutely loved the mall. There was no way I wasn't going to include the mall in this. So the entry on the mall is called Charm of the Mall. And I got a lot of quotes from locals talking about their favorite memories from the mall or what the mall meant to them in their childhood, things like that. I also didn't know that the mall was a big reason why downtown started declining whenever it took some of those big stores way back when. That was news to me, and it really helped me better understand the economy of downtown. And now it's kind of crazy that the tables have turned because downtown Hot Springs is the place everyone wants to be. It's awesome. All right, so what happened to the Hot Springs Mall? Granted, it's still open at the time of this book's publishing. If you go to Uptown Hot Springs today, you will see a fluorescent lit, carpeted, mostly empty shell of a shopping mall. And if you're calling it by its newest name, Uptown Hot Springs, rather than the Hot Springs Mall, it's likely you weren't here to see the mall in its heyday. Opened March 3rd, 1982 by Arenal Realty Company, the Hot Springs Mall was anchored by 3 major department stores: Dillard's, JCPenney, and Sears, along with 43 smaller stores. It provided around 800 jobs. The Hot Springs Mall used to be a place of gathering. Longtime community members remember it fondly today. We used to walk from the skating rink to the mall for Corn Dog 7, then go to the movies, Tyler Draper said. Each year, the grade schools would decorate giant cardboard Easter eggs, and they'd hang them up along the walls and do a contest, Libby Rupp III said. Some of the stores would have their new seasonal lines debuted by local teenagers. They'd put up a catwalk like stages. I'm old enough to remember when Chick-fil-A was still in the Hot Springs Mall, Jim Miller said. Who could forget KB toys and Walden books? And, of course, Romancing the Stone. Teenage date nights and El Chico's chips and salsa. Man, the nostalgia reeks. There wasn't anything you couldn't find at the mall, Tina Crump said. Between the full stores, mini markets in the middle, advertising cars, Santa and the Easter Bunny events, several community events throughout the year, there was always something new to do and something new to see going on there. The mall still stands today with a few stores and eateries. The independently owned movie theater, Hot Springs 8 VIP Cinema, located behind it, has been doing well for itself with remodels and expansions. Purchased by Rockstep Capital on August 12, 2015, the mall was rebranded as Uptown Hot Springs in 2021. Uptown Hot Springs has expressed that it would like to shy away from retail and include more entertainment-based businesses. Locals hope for the best in order to save their mall, preserving the memories within it. Does anyone have any memories of a store that was in the mall that you wish was still here today?
GameStop, that was my first job, and I remember it being EB Games before it changed over to GameStop, and then I was lucky enough to get to help close that store. When it closed in 2014, that was like a full circle type of moment.
No way!
Growing up and then closing it as a manager, crazy.
Called EB what?
EB Games.
EB Games.
EB Games was originally GameStop. It was an Australian-based company, and then it turned into GameStop in the U.S. It is still EB Games overseas.
Very nice.
It's pretty cool because there's a giant EB Games sticker under that yellow, hideous desk area.
Good to know. That's awesome. Yeah, no, just seeing all the photos of the mall. Whenever I put out a call on social media for people to give me responses like this, people from around Hot Springs, and so many people sent in these photos of the mall, just tiled, beautiful, the fountain, and I will always have a soft spot for the mall. I love our mall, and I really hope that I don't know, maybe people will read this book and will want to go check it out or something. One thing about the book is I do have these little info boxes right here. So each entry does have, it tries to like plug some kind of business or some kind of thing you can do in Hot Springs. So the one for the mall is spend a day visiting the shops in the mall, and then plan to catch a movie afterward. So. All right. Which Hot Springs sheriff was charged with unjustifiable homicide after an 1899 downtown shootout that killed 5 men, was found not guilty, and went on to serve 9 terms as sheriff? 1, R.L. Bob Williams. 2, Thomas C. Toller. 3, Lee Haley. 4, Liz Robbins. This one's a little tricky. I wrote it and I have to look down. It's between 2. All right, the correct answer is 1, R.L. Bob Williams. Y'all, this story was crazy. I came across this story whenever I first started writing this book with the Garland County Historical Society. And when they told me about this shootout that happened over there downtown in front of the vault, I could not believe it. I was like, it was, law enforcement agency against a gang, against what? No, it was the cops versus the sheriffs, which was in typical Hot Springs fashion, back then. This story really does a lot to explain how Hot Springs, how its law enforcement agencies worked and how that played into the illegal gambling going on. Let me see what's right on time. What time is it?
12:30.
12:30. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll try to read a short excerpt from this. This is a story in Hot Springs history that accurately reflects the widely known corruption that ran the town during the 20th century. What started as a political war over money and power ended in a deadly shootout in the streets on March 16, 1899. I don't know what's more shocking, the fact that this shootout's fatalities triumphed over the infamous gunfight at the OK Corral, the fact it was between 2 law enforcement agencies, or the fact that no one was ever held accountable for the deaths of 5 men. It began when one mayoral candidate pledged ongoing tenure to Hot Springs Police Chief Thomas C. Toller, while another assured Garland County Sheriff R.L. Bob Williams a continued role and also offered his brother a position as Chief of Police. But there was a little bit more at stake than just a title. In 1899, gambling was illegal, yet a very lucrative business in Hot Springs, so everyone wanted control of it. Having hands in both city and county law enforcement would be ideal for the Williams brothers. As the political race heated up, so did the tension between the once friendly Toller and Williams. When Williams caught the word on March 16, 1899 of a political caucus held by Toller with his department and favored candidate, weapons were drawn between Williams, his son, and an HSPD deputy. No one was hurt, and later in the day, Toller and his deputy arranged for an in-person meeting with the Williamses in an effort to make amends. Upon arriving at a saloon on Central Avenue, just north of its intersection with Bridge Street, an HSPD captain accused a sheriff's deputy of threatening him. The captain's brother-in-law, the saloon's bartender, intervened, slashing the deputy's neck. I forgot this goes very dark. Slashing the deputy's neck. Injured, the deputy fired shots at the bartender, initiating the shootout with members from both agencies involved. Toller, Williams' son, the bartender, and an HSPD sergeant all died. Williams, who showed up moments after the shootout, fatally shot one more member of the HSPD who had also arrived on the scene. Williams and 3 others in his department were charged with unjustifiable homicide, but were all found not guilty. Williams went on to serve a total of 9 terms as sheriff. Welcome to Hot Springs. No, I do love that story. I mean, it's so sad, but it is very like telling of the time of Hot Springs and like how it worked. And that's another thing I love about the Historical Society. What I meant about things being factual is it's Hot Springs has a kind of dark history at some points, and it's all there, and it's all nothing sugar coated. What is the name of the Hot Springs restaurant where Blackie Donnelly and his wife allegedly, nobody come for me, created cheese dip in 1935? 1, Little Mexico. 2, Mexico Chiquito. 3, La Hacienda. 4, Equivocado. This one's a little tricky because if you don't know the cheese dip credit, well, let me just go ahead and tell you, it is Mexico Chiquito. Wait, I think, no, sorry, hang on. It's like that time when Steve Harvey announced the wrong Miss America candidate. Little Mexico, it's Little Mexico. It's confusing because the entire story behind where cheese dip was created, a lot of people say it was created in Little Rock. In Little Rock, it was called Mexico Chiquito. So allegedly, the family, the Blackie Donnelly family, had a restaurant here in Hot Springs called Little Mexico before it moved to Little Rock and called itself Mexico Chiquito. Allegedly, cheese dip was created here in Hot Springs. Some guy, where is he? His name's in here somewhere. Made this awesome documentary in like the early 2000s or mid 2000s or maybe 2010s even about this, and it was so fun and funny and great. And he interviewed all these people in Little Rock, and basically the conclusion was that it happened in Little Rock. But doing some digging with the Garland County Historical Society, allegedly the conclusion is that the cheese dip was made here. So Arkansas takes cheese dip very seriously. It has fought for the title of creator with Texas since the ooey gooey, warm, and inviting side dish was introduced to Southern communities in the early 1900s. That's right, the delicious Mexican restaurant staple did indeed originate in the Southern U.S. rather than Latin America. Assuming Arkansas did create cheese dip first, what many people don't know is that there is an internal battle about where in Arkansas cheese dip was created. Was it in Hot Springs or an hour up the road in Little Rock? With Little Rock holding the annual World Cheese Dip Championship, it's widely assumed Little Rock is where cheese dip originated. That and the fact Mexico Chiquito, the place that claims to have invented the dip, is in Little Rock still today. Due to scarce records, here's what we think we know and what puts the creation of cheese dip most likely in Hot Springs. Cheese dip was created by a man named Blackie Donnelly and his wife in 1935. When the pair moved to Hot Springs from Texas, they owned and operated a restaurant called Little Mexico in Hot Springs, which is where it's thought the dip was introduced. Within an estimated decade, the two moved their business to North Little Rock and renamed it Mexico Chiquito. But does it really matter which boarders held a kitchen one fateful moment when perhaps one of the Donnellys had the bright idea to melt a pile of extra cheese laying around, throw some spices in it, and dunk a chip in it? To some, very much so. But to most, we're just glad to have it available on the table of nearly every restaurant in the area. And it's a pretty hard dish to mess up. All right. The owner of a popular tourist attraction that closed in 1948 wrote the following in his business's theme song. Those donkeys cute will thrill you with delight. The music, songs, and dancing will soon set you right. What business is this for? 1, Barnum's. 2, the Ostrich Farm. 3, the IQ Zoo. Or 4, Happy Hollow. The correct answer is 4, Happy Hollow. So when I was at the Historical Society looking up Happy Hollow, I found out it was this important amusement park here in town. It was very popular. People like Al Capone came to it. The baseball players came to it. Everyone came to Happy Hollow. It was one of the best attractions at the time. At the Society, I came across this really strange theme song written by the owner. And it was, well, I read the little excerpt from it. It was interesting. Part of one of my pre-order packets actually included the entire song in it because it is just really crazy. Apparently he printed it out and put it on some of his souvenirs. So does anyone have a souvenir with that song on it just by chance? Because that would be insane.
Did McLeod write that?
Yes.
McLeod?
Yeah, Norman McLeod, yes. Happy Hollow Amusement Park was one of the most popular tourist destinations in Hot Springs, attracting regular visits from Al Capone when he came to town, as well as many of the Major League Baseball players who came for spring training. The amusement park was a place where tycoons and millionaires rubbed elbows. Jesse Nat Terry wrote in the Garland County Historical Society's 1981 record, "To get there, follow the gang." And the all too accurate verbiage printed in a 1903 directory ad promoting Happy Hollow Amusement Park. This was an attraction that brought droves of people to downtown's Fountain Street from the late 1880s to 1948. This quirky park started by local photographer Norman McLeod as a picture studio before he developed it into McLeod's Amusement Park, and then eventually Happy Hollow Amusement Park. It was located at 315 Fountain Street. People could be photographed as cowboys, clowns, Native Americans, and fat men or women in front of backdrops of hillbilly shacks, bars, or other rustic scenes. One of the most popular photo scenes was posing in a bathtub, something men would do shirtless to appear nude. Photos were taken in many positions under any circumstances. As read on a Happy Hollow ad, the photos made for great souvenirs under any circumstances. This is the first presentation I've done on the book. It officially comes out May 1st, but I think I want to get like a little Hot Springs button that I press whenever it says only in Hot Springs, because that's so fun. And also, if anyone has connections to this for a photo prop downtown, we should get a bathtub put downtown for people to take photos in to bring back some of the magic of Happy Hollow. That would be so cute. But yeah, no, Happy Hollow was a really strange place. And I wish it was still here today. The hotel is, or motel is. All right, a few bonus questions. These are going to be only the first person to raise their hand to get it because they're right in. They're not multiple choice. So I will call on whoever raised their hand first. What are the names of the couple who have owned Bailey's Dairy Treat since 1996? Starting it out tough. I'll give you a hint. They have the same name. The same first name.
How many tickets is this worth?
This is worth 100 tickets. I didn't get it. Anybody? Since 1996.
No, they're Japanese.
Vietnam, yeah, really close. All right, let's see here. So it's Lynn and Lynn Morphew. Who are the Lynns behind Bailey's window? Bailey's Dairy Treat is a small landmark in the Hot Springs community, serving up incredible burgers alongside a variety of Asian cuisine. The building resembles a shack that anyone unknowing would just see as a dated neon sign reading Bailey's in Arial font and the wooden paint-filled ice cream cone atop. However, it was considered modern architecture when it was built in 1952, and it was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 2004. Let's get down here a little bit. Lynn Morphew, a Vietnam native, was adopted by a Hot Springs family in 1975 at the age of 15. He attended Hot Springs High School, moving to Houston after graduation. In Houston, Morphew owned a restaurant called Jade Dragon. In 1992, he married Kai Lewin, also known as Lynn, the sister of his mom's best friend in 1996, and the two purchased Bailey's. This couple is so sweet and an absolute treasure to our community. Remember whenever we had some tornadoes here a while back? It was like 2-3 years ago. Some pretty destructive tornadoes. They opened for a day, and all the proceeds they made that day, they gave it to the victims. I think it was whenever Jonesboro actually got hit. Just amazing people. They were in my first book too. I have the quote here, and if you've ever talked to Lynn Morphew, Mr. Lynn Morphew, you could absolutely hear him saying this, but I have a quote from him. Hot Springs community is very good. Treat them just like family. Lynn Morphew, 2024. And they absolutely do treat you just like family. All right, first one to get it. What is the name of... All right. What is the name of the ice cream parlor underneath the Arlington today? It is Mammoo's, and their ice cream is so good. Oh my gosh. Does anyone know why it's called Mammoo's? You know what?
Yes, I actually knew Matt. He worked with my ex-husband. Matt was an amazing person, and when he was very small, he couldn't pronounce his name correctly, so it was Mamu instead of Matthew.
Yes. Wow, that's good. Good, Jessamine. Very good. So Mammoo's was started by Matt Tadlock and Hayden started with them. Unfortunately, Matt passed away at the age of 20 years old on April 19th, 2018 here in Hot Springs in a motorcycle accident. They had planned to start this ice cream shop together and run it together, and that happened. And now Hayden Ennis has taken it and kept it going, and it's really great. But they never forget Matt, and anything they do, they have his photo up underneath the Arlington, like before you go in there so you can see it. They have his favorite flavor, which is the Ferrero Rocher, or not his favorite flavor, but is one that he had created and had it written down, like made little notes on. So they recreated that afterward. So they really just continually try to pay tribute to his friend who passed away at such an early age in an ice cream shop. So, and then Justin just told y'all like everything I just wrote about pretty much. I will say Mammoo's has 36 unique homemade flavors on rotation at all times, always with the option to be served inside of a freshly pressed and rolled waffle cone. Anybody have Mammoo's? I love Mammoo's. That's my place. All right. What downtown building is rumored to be the inspiration behind the Daily Planet building in the 1950s? Kay?
Medical Arts Building.
Yes. Yes, very good. So it is the Medical Arts Building. I did anyone see recently over the past week or so, Arkansas account posted to Facebook about the story? Okay. Well, it had traction, and it was bringing up the story, and I was like, this is in my book. A lot of people say that the Medical Arts Building was either the inspiration behind the Superman Daily Planet, or was, there was some film there. The rumor really gets super convoluted and misconstrued as more time goes on. But I will, Paul, what are we doing? How are we doing on time?
We're at 12:48.
Okay, cool. I will quickly go over the superhero lore here, and then you can tell your friends about it. And then if you see that Facebook post, you can comment on it and tell them you know all about it. So I called this entry Skyscraper of Health and Heroes. Was the Medical Arts Building the inspiration behind the Daily Planet building? It's widely rumored the tall Art Deco Medical Arts Building in downtown Hot Springs was used in the 1950s TV series Adventures of Superman, starring George Reeves. Some rumors even say scenes of the show were filmed here. Forbes magazine even claims the image of the building was used in early Superman movies. One story is recounted by blogger Dayton Ward in 2019. Is that the first illustrator of Superman comic was on vacation in Hot Springs, staying at the Arlington Hotel, which sits across the street from the Medical Arts Building. He saw the building in all its beauty, and as a result, the Daily Planet's building made its debut in the comics in 1940. But is this truth or tales? Let's start with some facts about the Medical Arts Building that still stands tall nearly after nearly a century. This 16-story building was built in 1930. It was the tallest building in the state and Arkansas's first skyscraper, housing dozens of physician offices. In 1978, the building was placed on the National Register of Historic Places, but was steadily vacated over the following decade, with the last physician leaving in 1991. The Medical Arts Building was sold in pieces over the years, and by 2021, it had 4 owners over different sections until local hotelier Park Patel purchased all but the 16th floor with plans to renovate the building into a hotel. At the time of this book's publishing, the building is still under renovation by Patel. While I cannot prove or disprove any Superman illustrator spent some time with us, I can confirm that Superman's co-creator Joe Shuster worked as a newsboy at the Toronto Star, and Shuster has apparently made claims that the Art Deco building, which has characteristics very similar to the Medical Arts Building, is what inspired the Daily Planet building. The silver lining? Now that the Toronto Star building has been demolished, perhaps Medical Arts is the best you could get for an in-person feel of the Daily Planet in real life. If you look up pictures of the Toronto Star on Wikipedia or whatever, it does look very similar to it. So I can see where that rumor could come from. But. And that's it. Thank you all so much. It was fun. Do y'all have any questions or?
Yeah. Did you tell everybody where and how soon or when they can buy your
Yes,
book?
thank you, Ron. Thank you. Yeah, so please buy the book from me, either from my website, kindlecom.com/books, or I have some copies here today. If you buy it before the official release date on May 1st, you will get a pre-order packet, which, like I said, just comes with a ton of historical artifacts courtesy of the Garland County Historical Society. Super cool. It's like postcards, some sheet music, stuff like that. And then if you pre-order it, you get a chance. The first pre-order will get this, or the first person who pre-orders, has already been named, is getting this jug right here. And then I will be making 2 more. It is for the Shuwaukla Bottling Company, which is some room sit over on Sleepy Valley. And on it, it says, as featured in Secret Hot Springs. If you pre-order it for me, you get a chance to win one of the 2 other ones I'll be giving away. So, thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much. Who won the contest? Yes, yes.
Sorry. Let's see here. We didn't give away all the tickets, so I may have to repeat this a little bit. Let's see. Does anyone have the number? 695048. That's okay. I put a little too many in here. 695059. Yay! Congratulations! You a book and a pre-order packet. Thank you so much.
Anything else?
No, not from me. How much are books? Oh, they're $27 plus tax.
Well, Cassidy, thank you very much for coming today. My generation, I think even I learned a few things today. Some of you may remember, and I'll enhance your knowledge here. The original Bailey's was called, anybody know out here? The Polar Bar. Okay. Does anybody know who owned the Polar Bar? The Cecils. The Cecils owned the Polar Bar. And there was a sign when I was in the 6th grade at Ramble School. And we would all run down at lunch. They'd let the 6th graders out for lunch. We'd run down there to the Polar Bar and buy a 15-cent hamburger and 10-cent French fries. There was a big sign up there that said, "Know what makes these burgers? 420 TLC. Does anybody know what that meant? My father happened to be friends with Mr. Cecil. And over the years, people just wondered and wondered about that. Mr. Cecil told my father back, this would be in the 60s, that the 420 TLC was he and his wife's combined weight and tender love and care.
Nice.
Oh, we thank everybody for coming. We encourage you, if there's still anything to buy back there, to do it. Pardon? Oh, and the books are up front here. We look forward to that. Please try to attend as many things as you can. And if you're not a member, please join. Encourage other people to join so that we can push this wonderful historical society into the next century. Thank you for coming today.